His videos are like poetry. They rhyme.
This series is now old enough to have a baby, Jared. Yeah.
What? Wait.
This is month 9.
Old enough to have a baby?
Yeah.
It feels weird saying it that way.
How would you say it?
Well, 9 months is like, I guess like, yeah.
It could have had a baby by now?
I guess, I really don't want to go into the train of thought of it because it involves...
Sexualizing a YouTube miniseries?
Yeah. Yeah. This was not a good month. Moose Deuce.
I get it. Is our brain broken?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is going to be one of those months where there's like, maybe we will argue a little bit, but there's not going to be a lot to say. It's a real weird one. We got Bees. We have our first sequel, Return to Monster Blood. That's what it's called. Mm-hmm. Don't look at it.
I think we're riding off the high of last month because
we did just rush right into this episode.
It's been 12 days since we filmed last month's. You'll find out why it took so quick to film this one quite shortly. I really have so little to say, Jared. Should I just get into it? My mind is blank. It is empty right now.
Good thing we rushed into this episode because we have like, this will be like a 10-minute episode. Go for it.
Why I'm Afraid of Bees. I feel like this title just doesn't really, I think it's inaccurate. I think it should be called Why I'm No Longer Afraid of Bees.
It just shouldn't be called anything to do with Why I'm Afraid of Bees. It's just such a shit title.
Oh, look, I think starting it with a question word is like, it hooks the kids like, ooh, why is he afraid of bees?
I get that the book is going to explain why bees could be scary.
Yeah.
But you're also telling me that bees are going to be scary.
Yeah. It's possible. And the way they do it, I think it works on a basic level. We're talking like surface level. I thought it was fun in concept. I think it has a lot of ideas that desperately need fleshing out, but it is kind of just a series of set pieces until the book decides that the conflict is going to resolve. Similar to this one, I feel. But the main character gets an arc, which is more than I could say for most of these books. And I don't know, Bees, look at this cover. Like, come on. You're not going to read this one as a kid. It's begging you. Look at it. It's ugly as sin. It's awful.
I knew it was going to be like this.
Yeah?
I knew it was going to be you somehow sucking more dick than you should. And you're not even sucking dick.
No,
you're not even.
No. I really just don't.
You're more positive about that book than I am, for sure.
I didn't hate it, and I really just don't. I can't stop staring at that boy's face. I'm just.
I'm like, I'll turn away from the front so I don't have to look at it anymore.
It's awful. It's awful.
I will say
Yeah.
that this is one of the first times that I decided I wanted to read the blurb.
Yeah?
It immediately spoils what the book's going to be
Yeah.
about. Because prior to this, I was like, what the fuck is this book about?
Yeah.
And then I read the back and I was like,
It's The Fly.
I'm going to jump ahead to my notes really quick. Quick. I only wrote 3 notes for this one.
Yeah.
My last note is Beaky Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Speaking of bad. Alright. So look, this book follows Gary Lutz, the klutz. He's very unpopular. Everyone hates him because he's such a klutz, and his sister hates him. He's got a crush that is like, doesn't even acknowledge that he exists, and he tries to be cool with her, and then he crashes his bike into a car. He's got a bunch of bullies that beat him up for every now and then, and he tries to hide all the bruises he gets from them. It's just a rough time for him. He doesn't like being himself at all.
Is it the jock and the nerd, the Auntie Donna?
Oh yeah.
Baboom. Yeah, Baboom. He's like, oh, can I get anything right? It's like, that's Gary Lutz.
He's fingered everyone.
Boom.
He's He's got no fingers!
That's exactly it.
Yeah, that's the thing. And the jock is Dirk Davis, who I'll get to. So, I guess Gary one day when he's perusing on his computer comes across an ad where it's advertised as vacation from yourself. Do you want to leave your body? And he's like, okay, I don't know what the fuck that is, but sounds fun, let's do it. So
I hate myself, let's go.
yeah, exactly. So he goes to a clinic run by a lovely lady named Ms. Carmen, and she explains that it's a body swapping clinic. And, you know, people sign up, and then they find a match for people, and then they swap bodies, and they have a vacation from themselves. It's a fun little premise. Jared, it is story time. I read this book as a kid, and I want you to read the last complete paragraph on page 28.
Don't ask why I went from the back of the book. The last complete paragraph?
Yeah, on page 28.
So this one?
This one.
Okay, so, okay.
No. Okay, this one.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
You can pick a boy, or even a girl for that matter, to trade places with for a week, Mrs. Cartman was saying.
Trans awakening right there.
Legit.
I have a very distinct memory of reading that paragraph as a kid and be like, interesting.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I have thought about it before then, but I do have a memory of that. And that is the most significant thing to happen in this book.
I can't like doing this series is my dumb idea, and then we actually get to dig deep and be like, this book is where I started discovering my identity.
Yeah.
Good luck ranking that book low now, you asshole.
Last place!
Okay, so, and Gary goes home, he's signed the forms and whatever, and he gets a call later. It's like, okay, we found someone named Dirk Davis. He wants to swap bodies with you because he's got a math test coming up and you're apparently pretty smart. So you can take the math test for him. And he's like a really cool dude. He's like a jock. He's popular with all the ladies.
Cool dude.
He rides a skateboard. You'll love being Dirk. Give it a try. And he's like, all right, whatever. Oh fuck, I've forgotten to mention the fucking bees. So
once again, you were not going to mention the most important part of the fucking book.
So he has a neighbor, Mr. Andretti, who is a beekeeper, and he's got a lot of bees. The book opens, he says, this book isn't just about a bee, it's going to be about 100 bees. And it was a good promise because his neighbor's a beekeeper and he's showing off the bees to Gary, and Gary hates bees and runs away when he thinks the bees are attacking him, but they're just being bees.
The neighbor likes to torture him a bit as well.
Yeah.
He's just like, that punk kid's watching me again, watch this, and he like throws a bee at him.
It's
like,
fuck,
stop watching me, dickhead!
Yeah. Anyway, well, a bee gets in on the swap when Gary's going through the machine. I don't know why Dirk isn't there. I think Dirk's got like another machine set up somewhere, I guess.
Yeah, they're just like, there's like another worker who has like Dirk doing it. Like,
we never see anyone else at that place.
Nope. That's a real good question.
Yeah, but we ignore that. And so Gary switches bodies and he wakes up and he's like, something is off. I know, I'm a bee! He got swapped with the bee rather than Dirk. And then he goes home and inspects who's now taken over his life, and it's Dirk. Dirk is pretending to be himself, and the book keeps referring to him as Gary in quotes, rather than just Dirk. The family doesn't know any better, but I think Dirk just kind of gets away with it with saying like really basic shit like, I love you, Mum, and can I have some crisps, please?
Yeah, no, Dirk's just like, yeah, Mum, I'm Gary. And she's like, oh, good.
Yeah, no one cares.
No.
And then Gary gets caught by his neighbor, Mr. Andretti, and he gets stuffed in the beehive. And this is like the one part of the book where it's like, I'm kind of digging this because it's like pitch black. He's trapped in this very tight space and there's just bees swarming everywhere. He can't see anything. That's terrifying, right?
For like 1 page.
Yeah, it's very short. It's ridiculously short. He runs into a bee. It's like, is this guy staring at
The
you?
bee looks angry.
Yeah, he looks angry. He's
Is he gonna fucking punch me?
He's just standing there, menacingly.
He doesn't know, and then he just runs away, and then
He comes. He's like, is that the bee from yesterday? Is he like still fucking mad at me?
there's a bunch. The bees get grudges. Turns out, there's a brief scene where a bee is dancing, and there's like this nature documentary thing going on where Gary's every now and then is like, oh, I read this in a book once that bees do this thing.
This book really feels like Scholastic said you should try and teach kids with these as well.
Yeah.
And then Stein was like, I will write the worst fucking book you've ever read, and then you can leave me alone.
You can. Is there a bee pun? Bee me away. I don't know. Bees! So, and then the bees all get let out to go get their pollen. There's this recurring thing where Gary's always tired because he's not eating enough. And he's always like got to get some honey or some pollen. It's like a stamina bar he's got or something.
Well, it also shows him like gradually being like more comfortable with being a bee.
Yeah.
At the start, he's like, I don't want to eat fucking pollen. And then he has a little bit, and he's like,
He's going on an arc. He's learning to be a bee.
Yeah, that's it. And by the end, he's just like, oh, fucking grab a little bit of fucking pollen.
Yeah, so the neighbor lets them all out to go get some pollen and come back to make more honey. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to go back to Miss Carmen so we can sort this shit out. And then he goes over there and he finds a microphone that he can speak into because he's still able to speak English as a bee. It's just very quiet.
Yeah.
So he speaks into the microphone.
Bees can speak English, by the way.
Yeah, so he explains the situation to Ms. Carmen. He's like, oh, okay, that explains why Dirk's been acting so strangely. Keep that in mind. And basically she says, oh yeah, so Dirk doesn't want to be himself anymore. He wants to be in your body forever, so I guess you're trapped as a bee. There are 2 things that come to mind here. One, that's not, you just take him back. That wasn't part of the contract. And 2, at least swap the bee with Dirk so that the setup actually happens. Can you not do that? Is the machine not built for bee transfer?
Not intentional bee transfer.
No, it's when it's an accident that it can be possible.
You know what? I'm going to interrupt the story for a second just to be like, I'm sad there wasn't a scene where like there was a fly around the office and that was like another kid and he was like, this happened to me too. And I just never got my body back and I'm just hanging around.
That would have been great, honestly. So he finds Dirk's information in a form and so he goes, it's like, okay, I'm going to try to explain it to Dirk's body. And you can probably guess by now the bee's taken Dirk's body. It's a very brief scene, but I loved it. It was just Dirk being a bee and it was stupid, it was silly, but it was the most emotion I got out of this book. I'm not complaining. So Gary's realized I'm kind of fucked. He runs into his bullies again and he fucks with them as a bee. And he realizes, well, maybe being bee not so bad. Maybe it's fun. And then he goes back to the hive and he realizes that he has control over them. They think he's their leader for reasons that they don't tell us. And then he leads a revolution and he charges into his bedroom and attacks Dirk in his body and he stings him. And as you know from Bee Movie, and as it is set up earlier in the book, I forgot to mention, if a bee stings someone, they die. So Gary dies, but he comes back. He switches back with his own body. Everyone's back in their own bodies. I think the bee died, but like, whatever. The book doesn't care, to be quite frank with you.
They literally just don't even explain how it happened. He just goes back to his body.
I guess if someone dies, the minds just go back. I guess.
A recurring theme of just
fuck.
fixing things.
Yeah, fuck. So, and then Dirk's learned to appreciate his own life. He's hugging his parents and his sister's like, I missed you so much. You just saw us. Whatever. Oh, by the way, Gary, there's like an army of bees in your room. Do you want to get Mr. Andrietti to help you out with that? That's cool. I got it. Bye, bees. And the family thinks he's a weirdo. He meets up with Dirk. Dirk apologizes for taking his body. He's like, that arsehole bee flunked my math test. It's like, yep. I wanted to see more of that bee, Dirk, please. In a sequel, maybe. And then I guess Dirk has made Gary more popular, and Gary kind of keeps that persona. And there's a little neat bit at the end where Gary eats some pollen because he likes it now. And that was how the book ended.
There's really nothing else to say. You just hear the synopsis for that and you go, yep.
It's self-explanatory. Just my mind hurts thinking about this book. I think really the most we've said is, yeah, I guess it made me consider the idea of being a girl, and that is it.
You could get something out of it.
Yeah.
But I simply could not.
No. We've yet to make an egg of you yet, sir.
Too busy cooking eggs.
Okay. Do you want to say anything else?
What the fuck is there to say?
I'll get my notes.
It's the weirdest fucking book.
It is the strangest book we've read so far. And I think the cover oversells it just a little bit. Because it's not a bee with a boy's face. It is just a bee. And the blurb at the back is right brain, wrong body. And the one at the front is he's no ordinary human being. It's good.
I'm just going to read out my only other 2 notes that I wrote. The first one was, that's the worst first chapter so far. I can't remember what happened in it, but I'm sure it was.
It's a lot of describing himself, and then he's spying on Mr. Andretti. There's this bit where Andretti's making a joke. "What's this?" he bellowed at the top of his lungs. "Did someone start a neighborhood watch committee without informing me? Or is the FBI recruiting 10-year-old spies these days?" There's a cat named Klaus I forgot to mention. I don't know, I can't tell you.
I think you left out a couple little things, but it's like, just doesn't matter.
No, I don't think I'm supposed to give a full synopsis anyway, no. You get the idea of what happens in it. You know why we thought what we thought.
You haven't missed anything, really.
No.
My other note is, oh wow, no fake out, this kid just got beat up. So I think the first time you get introduced to the bullies, they just beat the fuck out of him. And it's just like, no, he doesn't. Stein doesn't pull his punches. He just beat the fuck out of this kid.
Pull punches. Speaking of lame jokes, I do have a quote here.
Lucky us.
Okay. So Mr. Andretti's talking to his bees. "Time to get back to work, my honeys." He started to laugh at his stupid pun. "My honeys. Haw, haw. Oh my, wasn't that a good one?" Wasn't that a good one, Jared? I wrote in my notes, no.
Let's talk about the TV adaptation. And we're back. There is no TV adaptation.
Why didn't they adapt the bee book?
This is the part where we're supposed to talk about how we would do it. I wouldn't.
Yeah?
I would just leave this book the fuck alone.
We gotta try.
Fuck no.
I would, because we have seen...
Are you kidding me? No. How are you meant to film a bee?
Did you not see the Be Careful What You Wish For adaptation where they're all flies?
But that's only like a couple shots, not the majority of the episode.
Yeah, you could do like a green screen or like a super close-up where you can't see the background. You can kind of get away with it.
It'd have to be some super early CGI.
Yeah.
And they'd be tempted to like superimpose his face onto it as well, like the cover.
Yeah.
There's no way it looks...
It's going to be awful.
They said the exact same thing that I did. They read this one and they were just like, "Mr. Stein, do we have to?"
I would cut out the hive stuff.
Yeah.
And I would make Mr. Andretti just kind of like a bee enthusiast. Like he's got a bunch of bees in his garden, so you don't have to like film a shit ton of bees at once. And you can kind of have like a couple of bees on screen at once to show them like conversing. You can have some shitty voiceover to show it's Gary in the bee.
It's because this is a book where nothing scary happens. Really.
No.
Apart from just, oh no, I'm a bee.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you even make an entire episode out of it? It's not as silly and goofy as some of the other books can be.
You Can't Scare Me.
You Can't Scare Me.
Yeah.
I would even say Horrorland.
Yeah.
No, Horrorland.
Horrorland still has like, it's thrilling, I guess.
Yeah. Like, I'm mostly thinking of like episode 2 where it's like, that's just a fucking comedy.
Yeah.
That's just a fucking hee-hee-ha-ha episode. But there's not... This would be an episode where the writers would get to do a little bit of that on their own, but there's not a lot of material to work with.
Yeah.
How many fucking jokes can you make about him being a bee?
Like, well...
Don't...
There you go, you got one.
Gary Lutz? I hate the name.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's just, that is such a Stein fucking name.
Yeah.
And it's like, when he writes a character in a name like that, you just know he's writing himself. It's like, but like himself now. It's like, you don't speak like a kid, dude. Kids don't speak like you. Oh, I would not. I would just leave this one the fuck alone. How would you do it, Hadley?
I think I pretty much, I said it, yeah. Cut out the hive, make less
That's
bees
it.
involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would make it a one-parter for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'd cast Jerry Seinfeld as Gary.
We get to talk about Monster Blood 2 now.
Yay!
Monster Blood 2. We're halfway through the Monster Blood series now. We've got 2 more to go.
How you feeling, Jared?
Look, I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed. I was happy to see the Monster Blood come back. If you remember from the end of the first book, because it was created by the witch, when the witch died, when she was killed by Monster Blood?
Yeah, she was eaten by the Monster Blood and the magic was supposed to die with it.
Yeah. So that means there should be no Monster Blood anymore.
Yeah.
So you're going into this book and you're thinking like, did the witch somehow survive? Is there another witch that can also make Monster Blood? The answer is no, there's just more Monster Blood.
They make one mention, I think, of the fact that it was cursed by a witch.
Yeah, I couldn't even remember it, but surely like once.
It was like during a recount where it's like, my summer vacation, my aunt's cat turned the Monster Blood evil.
Yeah, that's right, she was the cat the whole time, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Monster Blood's weird.
Yeah.
I want to quickly mention one thing that I'm noticing with these books is the further in that we go, the less they feel like real horror stories.
Yeah.
We start to turn more. He leans more into kids' books.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm Afraid of Bees. It's just like the prime example of just like it's not even scary. It's just fucking bees.
Stein even said he thinks that Welcome to Dead House is too scary because there's no jokes in it.
Yeah. Surely there's some jokes. Maybe there's just funny stuff happens in it, right?
But like he kills a dog.
He kills a dog.
Yeah.
All of the most of the characters in that book are dead children.
Yeah.
They have like actual insidious fucking like plans.
Yeah.
And then just the further along you get into these books, like the more he moves away from that, and it's more just like funny kiddie stuff where there's no real stakes, and it's just vaguely spooky. So with that in mind, Monster Blood 2, Gary. He's not Gary. Fuck, what was it? Evan. Evan is back. Andy comes back eventually.
Can I talk about what I thought?
Whatever. Go on.
Okay. I didn't care for it. I thought, you know what, things are moving along. There's always stuff happening. But when I finished it, I was like, what was the point of any of it? Because at the end of the day, there was like 2 things that really mattered. How the conflict is resolved is absolutely garbage. I would say it's the worst, but Welcome to Camp Nightmare exists. So it's
pretty fucking bad.
So it's probably second worst, honestly. It's awful. And I think they make Andy, we loved in the first book. I actually don't like Andy in this one.
No, yeah, they kind of ruined Andy.
Yeah. The characters are not likable at all in this one. There's like 4 characters, I don't like any of them. And the actual premise of the book doesn't really start until like the last 30 pages. So
I actually wrote down the chapter that it starts.
There you go.
It's a 26 chapter book.
Yeah.
This starts chapter 18.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good, guys.
Obviously, this is about the hamster.
Yeah.
Getting Monster Blood inside of them. That doesn't happen until chapter 18.
What happens in the rest of the book? Jared, tell us.
Evan is living in California. After the events of the last book, he's back with his parents. We didn't really get to see much of his parents in the first book. You don't see much of him in this one either. But he lives with them this time. He's going to his new school, and he thought it would be a really good idea to tell everybody about the Moose Deuce. He thought that it would be like a really cool story. Everybody goes, "Wow, Evan, you fought a monster witch with blood? You're our best friend." Instead, everybody went, "Shut the fuck up, kid. That didn't happen. You're insane. Give me your lunch money." So nobody at the school likes him. The teacher really doesn't like him. What's his? Mr. Ross. Mr. Ross really doesn't fucking like
Isn't
Evan.
that Evan's last name?
It's not Mr. Oh my god, I totally read the wrong chapter. Mr.
Mr. Ross is the dad, which
is
we
the
need to talk
dad.
about.
Shut up. The teacher's in it like so much.
Leaving it in.
Leave that in Batman. Mr. Murphy. So Mr. Murphy really doesn't fucking like Evan. Every time Evan does something wrong, and it's never really Evan doing something wrong, it's like everybody else, right? Mr. Murphy goes, cool, stay back after class, clean the cage. Clean Cuddles' cage. Cuddles' cage. Cuddles is the hamster. Mr. Murphy do love Cuddles a lot. Evan, not so much. You get a whole lot. You're reading about him cleaning the cage for a very long time, so you'd fucking hope that something would happen to it sooner rather than later. Lean that way, whatever. So, what the fuck else happens?
Should we talk about the bully? Because he's pretty important.
It's time to talk about the bully, Conan. Everybody calls him Conan the Barbarian. He is just a bully. He is just the guy that is cool, popular, plays the sport games, and bullies the fuck out of Evan. I think most of the time he's like, I'm so sorry, shake on it, and then just crushes his head. He does that like 6 times. Conan has his little boy that is always with him. His name is Biggie.
I genuinely don't remember that at all.
Yep, he's got his friend who is just his hype man, and his name is Biggie.
Okay.
I fucking hate the way Stein names his characters so fucking much. It's just like Conan and Biggie, the bullies. The only name that I really do like in this book is Cuddles. Yeah, it works perfectly with this image in your mind. You're just like, yep, cool, Monster Blood, do be at it again. A whole lot of bullying happens, it's boring, and then Andy shows up. And Evan's like, Andy, my best friend, the best character we've had in a Monster Blood, in a Goosebumps book, what are you doing here? And then she goes, I told you, dickhead, my family was sending me here for some reason, so I'm here now. We go to the same school, we're like friends now. And he goes, cool, you can tell everybody about Monster Blood. And then she's like, you told people about Monster Blood? You fuckwit. And then he's like, if you tell everybody about Monster Blood, they'll believe me and they won't bully me anymore. And Andy goes, I'll do you one better. Meet me at the park tomorrow. And he's like, I wonder what that could be. And then he meets up with her and she says, I found the can of Monster Blood and I brought it back with me. And then he opens up the can. There's a little speck of Monster Blood inside of it.
There was nothing in there initially.
Initially? Are you sure
Yeah.
it was like the tiniest little bit?
No, there's nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah.
Okay, so there was nothing in there the first time.
Yeah.
And he goes, why would you bring this here? We need to get rid of this. Next time they open it, and the Monster Blood has grown up a little bit. Whatever, there's Monster Blood, wow.
I think Andy says that the can is empty, and when they open it, there is Monster Blood in there.
Yeah.
I think that's what happens.
Yeah, whatever, shut up.
Yeah,
Hadley.
okay.
Undermining my story.
Okay. I think it was already undermined plenty.
And then Conan just shows up and he's like, what's that? That's mine, give it back to me, I left it here. And they're just like, no, we have a brown paper bag and it's empty. And then he goes, fine, whatever, I'll leave. And he walks away. And then they're like, okay, look, it's Monster Blood. We really shouldn't trust it, let's bury it. And they bury it under the tree. And then stuff keeps happening. Andy is just like flanderized. Andy is like louder and brighter and just like more annoying. And then eventually, I think they get the idea. They're like, hey, Evan, why don't you eat some of the Monster Blood? And then you'll be bigger than Conan and you can beat Conan up. And for the whole book, Evan's been like, no, I don't want to fucking touch Monster Blood again. But then today, he goes, why the fuck not? So they go back to the tree and they dig and they dig and they dig and they dig. And it's like, oh no, the Monster Blood's fucking gone. It's gone. Somebody took the Monster Blood. So then Evan goes up to Conan at school the next day and he's like, hey Conan, can we just, can you give it back? Conan's like, fucking what? And Evan's like, he's like, give it all back. And he's just like, the thing. I know you took it. And Conan's just like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Shake on it. And then they're like, great, the only thing for it, we need to sneak into Conan's house tonight. And then they do. They just break and enter. into Conan's house. They go into his bedroom, and he sleeps with a teddy bear. And then, sure enough, Andy goes, "Wow, look, it's the blue can of monster blood." He did have a...
I do love this scene because I don't think they're home initially, and then Conan's like, "I'm home now, parents.
Yeah.
I'm going to my bedroom now."
Yep, that's exactly what happens at the end of the chapter. I was just about to get to
Okay,
it.
good.
Whatever, Hadley. And then they've got to, like, hide out. They hide out on, like, outside the window, whatever. Trigger's there. Oh yeah, Trigger's back. We love Trigger. Trigger followed them there, and he was barking at them. But Conan was playing music on his boombox, because this is a 90s book. Is it the 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 90s book. And then he turns the music off, and he's like, "What the fuck is some dumb dog?" And then Conan's parents like, "Come downstairs for waffles and ice cream, darling." And he's like, "I'll be there right now, Mom. Can I get sprinkles on top?"
I do get major Sid from Toy Story vibes from that kid.
Abso-fucking-lutely,
Yeah.
especially when you're like in his bedroom. He feels like Sid. And then, they eventually are able to sneak out. I think someone has like a shower or something, and they just fucking run out the front door. Because they're afraid of heights, they can't drop down. So they've got the monster blood back. How the fuck does Cuddles eat it?
Well, they have this idea where they want to prank Mr. Murphy. I think it's Andy's idea where they make Cuddles bigger. We'll only give him a little bit of it. Just a little. And then I think after they steal the monster blood back, I think Evan's like, "Yeah, I don't feel so good about this anymore. Let's not do that." And Andy's like, "Sure. I won't do it."
That's what happens. Evan's sick, and he doesn't go to school for a day.
Yeah.
So there's like one paragraph where he's like, after all that happened, he's like, I thought I was sick, and I just stayed in bed for a whole day, so I didn't go to school. And then when I came back into school the next day, Cuddles had eaten some of the monster blood, and it was Andy. Andy gave Cuddles some monster blood. She was like, "I'm sorry, Evan. I thought it would cheer you up." It's how the fuck would it cheer him up? He has PTSD over this. How the fuck is it meant to cheer him up?
He's having nightmares. The first chapter is a nightmare.
The whole fucking book is just him on like a massive PTSD fucking trip about monster blood, and she just shows him the can and creates the whole fucking situation again. And Cuddles is growing. Mr. Murphy's just like, "Evan, you've been feeding my hamster too much and he's fat now." He's like, "Mr. Murphy, it wasn't me." And then the next day, Cuddles is like breaking out of the fucking cage, and Evan's like running away. And then eventually, Cuddles is like massive, and he's terrorizing the school. Fuck, I completely forgot about something.
We need to talk about the dad.
We need to talk about the dad.
The dad is like, he's in 2 chapters, but he's the best part of this book.
His dad creates some like urban art things.
He's Spencer from iCarly.
Actually, fucking yes, he is,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Yeah.
Shit. Best character by default.
I wrote a quote about him, and it was like, "This dude he hurts my soul. It's not supposed to look like a leaf," Mr. Ross corrected Evan. "It's supposed to look like my impression of a leaf."
Yeah. So imagine Spencer from iCarly had a son, and what did he make? He made some kind of weird, fucked up, giant, basically a hamster wheel.
Yeah.
And he was presenting that at Evan's school for some reason. And coincidentally, it was the same day that Cuddles becomes massive.
There's a lot of coincidences in this book.
So many of them. So then Evan's like, "Oh, we've got to get Cuddles into the auditorium so that he can get a new hamster wheel. And maybe he will run so much that he will work off the fat and he will shrink again."
I think Evan even admits, it's like, "Look, I'm just trying anything, man."
He's just like, "It's all I can think
do."
about. We just need to get Cuddles out of here."
Yeah.
Cuddles like picks up Conan, and Conan's like, "Mommy," and it's like, it's meant to be like, haha, Conan's actually scary, but a giant fucking demon hamster is going to eat him and kill him. Yes, I'd be shitting and fucking pissing my pants, yes.
It's important to mention in Monster Blood 1, Trigger doesn't stop being Trigger. He's just Trigger but bigger.
Yeah.
Cuddles straight up is trying to eat people.
He's that. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were being caged by people and then was suddenly out of the cage, you'd be like, well, fuck you for putting me in that cage.
Yeah.
God, true. So they somehow managed to get Cuddles to the wheel, but then Cuddles just destroys the wheel. He doesn't even get on it, so it's like, great, that was a waste of time. And then Evan's like, Andy, there's only one thing for it. I need to eat the monster blood, and I need to grow bigger than Cuddles so I can stop Cuddles. So they run to Evan's locker and they open it, and the monster blood's been growing and growing, and it's just like overflowing out of his locker. And Andy's like, fuck Evan, are you sure? And he's just like, it's the only way.
He scoffs that shit.
And then he's like, it tastes disgusting, but I have to do it. And then he's like, I'm growing. And then he's big, and I'm thinking like, there's one chapter left. There's one chapter fucking left after this, and I'm thinking, you know the cover for Monster Blood 3? It's Giant Evan.
Yeah.
So it's like, are we just going to leave Evan giant and we'll pick this story up in 20 books? Because I'm like, I was actually getting fucking excited thinking about that. And it's like, cool, lasting effects from a Goosebumps book. Next chapter, Evan and Cuddles are just small again. They're just back to normal size. And it's like, what happened? And then Andy's like, fuck. And she picks up the can and she's like, yep, today's the expiration date. The monster blood just expired. It doesn't work anymore. The end.
Well, then I think...
The end.
No, because was it she gets like a can from Europe? Like her parents went on a trip to Europe. There's like,
oh, that's right. Her parents came back from Germany. That's why she was there. They were like, hey, we found a can of that monster blood stuff you like.
Yeah.
The end.
I think something that I just thought of that I have a question for. In the original Monster Blood, Trigger grows, but other things don't because the collar's strangling him. So I'm like, shouldn't Evan be naked?
Evan should be naked.
Yeah. But also another thing to mention, I guess the point of the book is, because Evan stood up to Cuddles, the school respects him now.
Oh my god, no, I do need to talk about that a little bit actually. I can't just say the end.
Yeah.
No, so everybody goes from hating Evan to sucking Evan's dick.
Yeah.
Even Mr. Murphy. It's actually kind of funny. Mr. Murphy is like, Evan, I'm so proud of you, my boy. If you ever want to try out for basketball again, please be my guest. You're not as tall as you were the other day, but that's fine. We can probably still have you anyway. As a thank you for your bravery, I'd like to give you, I know you've grown very close to him, here's Cuddles, bye. And he just runs away and he just gives Evan Cuddles. And Evan's like, are you fucking kidding me? So I really hope Cuddles shows up in Monster Blood 3.
That would be fun.
That would actually be an immediate good point for that book. But this book kind of fucking sucks, guys.
Yeah, that's very good.
It kind of really fucking sucks. I was really happy to have Andy back. Evan, not so much. Andy actually calls out how much Evan sucks.
Which is good. I said when we reviewed the first one, I was like, I don't really like it. Evan.
Yeah,
He's kind of a piece of shit.
He was kind of like much worse in this one.
Yeah.
Not because he was like a piece of shit. He was just nothing.
Something that would have been way more interesting is if Evan just actually fed the monster blood to Cuddles, because it's like he's had enough of everyone's shit. And he goes against all of his principles because he wants revenge. Like a plot driven by the character isn't something we've really had since Haunted Mask, and I'd like that again, please.
Yeah, that would have been pretty good.
Yeah.
I was a bit concerned, confused as to why it wasn't just Conan who fed Cuddles the monster blood, and it's like that's the easy way to go. It's what the book wants you to think is going to happen, but the betrayal from Andy wasn't really worth it.
No.
And it didn't even really pay off or anything. It was just kind of Andy went, haha, oops, sorry. I don't know. She's on the spectrum, and Stein doesn't know how to write that. So she just really just comes off wrong.
Yeah.
I really don't know how to safely describe it, but it's just like nothing that Andy really does in this book feels like right. Stein doesn't know how to write a character like that at all. And we love Andy. We love Andy to bits, but so much of it, she was just like, hee, sorry, I wear bright colors that are mismatched, and I say a lot of really weird things, and also I feed monster blood to animals. Oopsie, haha, please forgive me. And it's like, we can do better, right?
Yeah, we can.
We can do so much better, right?
We had so much promise this month. Bees and Monster Blood 2. Let's check our notes.
I actually have quite a few more notes for this
good.
one. Okay, so how many books have we had that weren't in the first person?
I haven't really been keeping track. I know Welcome to Dead House is in the third person. That's all I can remember.
Was the first Monster Blood in first person? I feel like it was, because everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's sucking me in." It was totally a first person book.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, this book, Monster Blood 2, was third person, and I was just like, it just felt wrong.
Yeah.
It just felt so wrong. I noticed it immediately.
I think Stein just kind of flips a coin sometimes.
Most of the time, I don't even think it's a coin flip. Most of the time, because he's writing books for kids, he wants the kids to feel like it's them in the story, right? So writing a Goosebumps, I can't remember if I said Monster Blood book. Writing a Goosebumps book in like third person, it feels really weird.
Yeah.
Because it's like you want it, you want the kids to feel like they're part of the story. That's the whole. It's like a safe way for them to be scared. That's like the whole drive of these books. And it just felt. I just really noticed it this month that it was in third person. I was like, that's so fucking weird. I don't know.
I wanted to talk about, because this is the first month that we've had both books not be reprints. It's got like a texture to it. Like the Goosebumps got Goosebumps.
Yeah.
I like that.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
It actually feels like it's Monster Blood on the front cover of Monster Blood. Wow.
And this really feels like Bees on the front cover of Bees.
I said, man, fuck the ending, and fuck the middle. And I also said Andy murders Evan on pages 99 to 100.
Okay.
That'll be when she just calls him out. She made a face at him. I like bright colors. It suits my personality. Your personality is late, he declared, because Andy was late to whatever they were doing. She followed him out the door and down the front lawn to the sidewalk. At least I have a personality, she cried. It's like, yeah, fuck you, Evan, yeah.
I don't really have any other notes. I think I mentioned everything.
Yeah, no.
I'm a bit concerned where like 3, the whole thing is Evan being big. We already did that.
Yeah. If the whole book
Yeah.
is about him being big, I'm there. If I don't want to wait for Monster Blood in a sequel. Making me wait 18 chapters for Monster Blood in the second Monster Blood, you can't do that. You can't make me wait for the same thing I've already had before. There was more Monster Blood in the first book than there was in the second one. If we don't have him giant from like the third chapter, it's like, what the fuck am I doing?
Bottom of the list.
Bottom. Let's talk about the TV adaptation. There isn't one. So
I checked. There's only going to be 3 months where there are no TV adaptations to talk about, which is honestly surprising. But as we go on, there's going to be a lot more times where we're just talking about one TV adaptation. So this month, last month, and some month in between, you're just going to have to hear us pitch the TV adaptations. Jared, start us off.
You probably could have made a pretty good TV episode out of this story.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would introduce maybe Cuddles having the Monster Blood as like the cliffhanger of the first episode. This would be a two-part.
Yeah.
And then I would have the entire second episode be about dealing with Cuddles and the Monster Blood. I'll maybe dedicate like the whole focus of the first episode to like Conan and Biggie.
PTSD.
PTSD. Shut up. The PTSD and Murphy as well, and then reuniting Evan and Andy as well.
Yeah.
But I would end it with that cliffhanger of fuck off. Of oh no, Cuddles has the Monster Blood and is now growing. And we would just use the same effects from the first Monster Blood, really, just blowing up the size of this fucking hamster.
But it's all like Trigger in the TV adaptation was all through the window.
Yeah. I would switch to like a monster model for like when he's massive.
I was thinking Power Rangers sort of thing. Or like Godzilla, you know.
Just like build a miniature set and then throw the hamster around.
Or like have like a guy in a suit.
A guy in a suit.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Well, something we do need to talk about is the TV adaptation for the first Monster Blood was quite liberal with the canon, and now we need to find a way to tie
I can't remember what the TV adaptation
So I think the first, like, the big important thing is more Monster Blood. You remember the plane?
Yeah, that's right.
And Conan was on the plane.
Fucking was he?
Yeah.
The fuck?
So we gotta tie that back in somehow.
We can't use Conan then.
Yeah.
Or if Conan is there, he's got to be just Evan's other unpopular friend, and then Biggie has to be the big. Was Biggie there?
No.
Well, and Biggie needs to be effectively Conan in the book,
Yeah.
and then
Conan's, I guess, Ned.
Ned.
You know, guy in the chair. From Spider-Man. Your favorite character?
You always find a way to ruin things further.
That's okay.
I thought you were going to say that was mean. Because, like, yeah, it was. This is, I don't know, just do the book, really.
Yeah.
Have fun with all of that. Yeah, I guess we do need to work on Conan. It's kind of not even worth thinking about. That is so weird they made their own.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's a harder premise than just Monster Blood 2.
The problem is Monster Blood's really hard to film.
Yeah.
You can tell in the first one they were straining that budget.
And there's even less Monster Blood in this one, though.
Yeah.
All you need to do, really, is show it bubbling a little bit in the container, whatever.
The can.
The can. And
Did
then
you forget the word can?
I did forget the word can.
Okay.
And then just have it, like, oozing out of the fucking the locker.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got to make edible Monster Blood. But luckily, we did that last time.
We did.
So you already know how to do it. You're welcome, Stein. He gave us the recipe.
You're not. No way you fucking wrote that.
Oh, fuck no. But we can still say it was him. What unpaid Stein assistant wrote it for us. I hope he pays them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's it for the TV adaptation that doesn't exist, I suppose. Do you
Yeah.
have anything else to really say about it? No.
I just want to be done. My brain hurts
Yeah.
thinking about either of these books.
It isn't that it hurts, it's that my brain's just empty.
Yeah.
It's just like TV static. It's just like...
That is quite fitting considering there was no TV.
Can't with you. Let's rank these fuckers. Gotta be number 2 for that one.
It's going at the top. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, are we?
You know what? I don't...
They're both better than Camp Nightmare. I think we can agree with that.
Oh, fuck. I don't like any of these books, but it's like...
It's awful.
What's fair? Oh.
I'm trying to think. Do I like either of these better than Fever Swamp? And I don't know. Things are happening in both of these books, though. Nothing happens in Fever Swamp.
I think...
Why is the bar so low?
Oh my fucking god. It comes down to Curse of the Mummy.
Yeah.
Because, like, more stuff happens in Piano Murder.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Piano Murder is better than both of these books. I want to put this above Monster Blood 2. What do you think?
I would put Monster Blood 2 above that.
Okay. Why do you think that is? Because we can agree that ending is awful.
That ending is awful.
And the characters are dreadful.
Yeah.
These characters are nothing, and there is an ending of sorts.
At least Monster Blood can be vaguely scary, which is more true to what a Goosebumps book should be.
But did you enjoy Monster Blood 2 more?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I did enjoy having Andy most of the time. I did enjoy Monster Blood vaguely happening for a little while.
Why is the past so low?
Yeah, we really are just like...
I liked it when a thing happened.
It's just so like... Cuff.
Oh, don't make me choose.
Which of these 2 books would you prefer based on what you've heard tonight?
What sounded better?
We are seriously that fucking stuck with these 2 fucking books.
I don't want to spend 10 minutes arguing about which children's book is better.
The one thing I'll say is both books have sort of a cop-out ending. At least Monster Blood 2 gives an explanation for the cop-out. By the sounds of things, Bees just kind of goes,
We can't
and then they're back to normal for no reason.
Yeah.
Fine, alright, Monster Blood 2 is better! Fuck this month! Curse of the Mummy's Tomb's better than both! How's that?
I'm gonna say Monster Blood is better. Monster Blood 2 is better than Curse of the Monkey's Tomb. But Why I'm Afraid of Bees is not.
But stuff happens in Tomb. Stuff happens.
That means Why I'm Afraid of Bees will be the first book to go straight in.
Didn't take long. I think I prefer Tomb to Monster Blood 2, honestly.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, give me Fever Swamp. And I've already got Bees, so... Okay.
I'll hold the bin for you.
Thanks. I take no pleasure in this. I should let you know that.
Your trans awakening is going in the bin.
Okay. So you're lower, so you go in first. That's what you get for having the werewolf show up in the last 2 minutes of your fucking book.
Thank God you said that, because the magnet side was facing the camera, so we could see
Okay.
what the book was.
And Bees! Trash! You're next, bitch!
Yeah, no, that
I'm not through with you yet!
Next month is Deep Trouble, which Hadley is constantly talking about how not excited she is for that one.
Just a shark. It's literally just a shark.
And then it's The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, which I think we're both excited for.
Yeah, it could be fun.
Yeah.
I've never read that one. I have no idea what it's about.
I'd be really surprised if it's
Yeah.
any worse than the past two
Yeah.
that we've just read. I'd be really surprised.
Man, the back half of this year has just been
It's
diminishing
been
returns.
miserable.
3 mid months in a row, 6 trash. Nothing has gone above it. This is the only book we've had that has gone above the first half in ages. It's ridiculous. Jared, do you know what's happening next month?
No?
It's Spooky Month.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
We should do an extra video just for fun.
You get to edit it.
By Spooky Month. Surely we can fit something in.
What do we do?
We could do Haunting Hour.
What's that?
It's just an R.L. Stine TV movie.
Oh, okay.
Why don't you do the Jack Black Goosebumps movie?
We'll do that at the end.
Yeah, because I know that there are some books that are important to that one.
Yeah.
Like, thank God I hadn't seen that one. It would have spoiled
Ghost Next Door
for me. But I have seen Goosebumps too.
Yeah.
What is it? Haunted Halloween?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just rambling at this point.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Stein, I don't know, man.
Can you get some help, please?
No, I don't even want to say anything to him.
Get a ghostwriter.
I'll see you next month, man.